Welcome back to the Convo Couch, ladies and gentlemen. I am Pasta Jardula.
And I'm Fiorella.
And Johnny Sue is on the ones and twos. We have a great show for you today. Oh, Gringo, thank you for coming over from Jamal Thomas. You can either watch that show, and today's show over there is equivalent to what you would read in the Inquirer. So, yeah, that's BS. But I'm glad you're over here. I do appreciate Jamal taking on different opinions from people that we know. Tony watches closely is also on. Michael Cruz is back again for more. Fred Edward is here. Brett Fairchild. Thank you so much.
Are we on Facebook, fam?
We are on Facebook.
Okay,
are we?
I do not see it.
I am looking on Facebook.
Yeah, it should be.
Let me see.
Nope, I'm not seeing it.
Checking now. Here we go. Facebook always likes to get you. You know what I'm saying?
It always does. There we go.
Oh, and don't forget, we're also over on the Rockfin, ladies and gentlemen. The ROKFIN.
Rockfin, Periscope.
We are there.
Everywhere. We're everywhere.
We're everywhere.
Jesus. I'm just kidding. You guys don't get offended.
All right. They already got offended. So, fam, we have a little bit of a good show today. I also want to say thank you to our Patreons. I think, do we have 77 or 78 right now? I think we have 77 or 78. I'm not sure. Sometimes you guys will know, because last time you guys corrected me, Jonathan. That's why I asked. Because last time I said 69, and you were like, oh, no, we have 72 in unison. And I was so surprised. So maybe I would be surprised. But thank you to all our patrons who have signed up. You guys are awesome. You help us out. And all of you who subscribed on the YouTube and on the Rockfin, it keeps growing. And, of course, if you watch us on Facebook, like Mike Ungi and some other people, we love you over there, too, as well. So let's get started. We have to talk about a good person.
We do.
An awesome congresswoman, right? She's newly elected. Her name is Katie Porter. And we have a little history with Katie Porter, don't we, fam?
Right. So Pasta and I followed the ADEM elections and the congressional race in 2018. We were the ones that were interviewing all the candidates in that congressional district of Harley-Rauda. And we were also following the ADEMs thereafter in District 71, which is in Orange County, like the Irvine area. And so a lot of people have been praising Katie Porter because she puts on a good show, kind of like Elizabeth Warren, when it comes to, talking back to the Republicans. And a lot of the left loves that. Love, getting someone there insulting the Republicans. For some reason, that makes you feel like it's effective, even though that really does nothing.
None.
And so she's been getting a lot of, progressive push. And so being the independent thinkers that we are, we know that that is not exactly the case. So Katie Porter was actually one of the establishment people running. She supported Harley-Rauda. She took the corporate PAC money. She also did a couple of things that were actually looked down upon, and actually, I think, to a point, downright illegal. So recently, AOC made a tweet asking people to support Katie Porter in her re-election bid, but her record, of course, and run power leave much more to be desired. Although she's not the worst. I mean, I agree, she's not the worst. She ran and won in a swing district that would have been red. And if you are the type of person that is vote blue no matter who, then of course you're going to see that as a victory. She also helped subvert progressive delegates from taking over, directly prevented them from taking over. And for starters, the assembly delegates, just so you guys know who aren't from California, vote on the endorsement of party candidates and on bills and on resolutions. So this is why she wasn't supposed to be there, because she, as an elected congressperson in 2018, this is 2019 when these ADEMs were held, her presence and her handing out flyers is completely wrong, because her weight on a slate is obviously going to influence a lot of people. So Johnny showed the tweet, and I basically also repeated that same thing. And the slate that she kind of pushed against was our Revolution slate, one that a lot of our progressive Bernie crap friends were in. And she made a whole slate. She had a slate of corporate funded delegates. And the whole thing that happened in these ADEMs was, it wasn't a well-regulated event.
Nope.
We were there from the beginning. It was a mess. There were long lines. They weren't checking people's registrations. They were also busing people in. they were, doing the whole establishment thing. Here's a bunch of cupcakes and a bunch of donuts. This is why you vote for me. Okay, that's fine. But they were not checking people's registrations. And Katie Porter was there in her bright orange shirt, as we're going to see shortly. Yeah. And she was kind of she had flyers in her hands of the delegate she supported. And that's not right at all.
Yeah.
So
let me just kind of build upon that real quick, because what the ADEM process is, and when Fiorella and I saw this taking place, now we went to ADEMs in Orange County.
51.
We went to inner city LA.
Highland Park.
We went to our district. We went to another city in LA. We went to like 4 of them. So we've gotten a lot of footage. I was actually, filmed a lot of the candidates running for ADEM, and they run in these slates. And the objective is that if you get these slates, now if you're a congressman, like Holly Rauter is now, like Katie Porter is now, like Katie Hill is now, if you get your delegates in, your particular delegates that you want, you can then control the endorsement process. You can get the endorsement process. With the endorsement comes money, comes funding, comes recognition. So you really have a great advantage of pushing yourself forward if you're an establishment candidate and you get these delegates to roll with you. Right. So during this delegate process, it's not against the rules for the Congress people to show up, but they're not supposed to influence or instigate in any way.
Which is what she was doing.
Katie was the worst of all of them. She had, when she says this bright orange shirt on we're going to talk about, she also had the people in her slate wore bright orange shirts. So instead of just standing off to the side, because the very first one I saw was Judy Chu, and she was in the district where I saw my friend Melissa Michelson running, and Judy Chu kind of stayed out of the fray. And which kind of cool. She didn't influence anybody. She showed up there. Her presence was minimal, and then she left. Same thing with Chris Holden. Chris Holden came after. He was very neutral. He didn't say anything to anybody. He didn't influence any slate. He really didn't have a heavy hand to push in the slates. But in certain other areas, the other district we went to, where our good friend Tina Berg Desiree Berg, she was running, and it was just all
she wasn't running.
She wasn't.
No,
she wasn't running.
She was reporting.
She was supporting a slate.
She was reporting and supporting the progressive slate. And what happened is Wendy Carrillo, who's another congressperson that's corrupt, that ran as a progressive, started bussing people in. Yeah. And she started filming it. And if you guys recall, we've actually talked about it before on
pictures
the show.
Of the bus.
We had the pictures, and she started filming it, and a woman came in and hit her, made her bleed, and tried to take her phone. And all of this was caught on camera. Yeah. And also, they stopped checking registrations the moment that bus got there. And they kicked us out. Mark Gonzalez is another party insider in California. And he was keeping tabs on us because he knew we were there just to interview people.
Every time he sees me, fam, he was at the banking party.
Away.
He's like, me and Johnny saw him on the KDM floor. Hey, Mark, you want to come over and do an interview? He's like, in a minute. And he looks down. He's like telling his friend, look over here like I'm important. Now point the other way. And let's walk away. Like, they do all those tricks. They don't want to. A microphone scares these people. Mark Gonzalez is one of them. I give him the opportunity. I have questions aside for him if he ever wants to take them. I'll see him again at the convention in Long Beach. We will ask him again. But the ADEM process, what we're talking about, and I've said this before, fam, we should just eliminate delegates.
Absolutely.
Just eliminate them.
Absolutely.
That's where I'm at. I was at it before because this party is such the insider party, especially in California, because not only do they control the ADEM process, they have the PLEOs, the second delegate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They have all these ways and mechanisms where they can control the money.
It's pretty much super delegates too.
Oh, they are super delegates.
Statewide. Apart from the
did the show on it. It's amazing. So,
and not to mention, before we go on this video, Maria Estrada is another district where she recently just got attacked and she figured out this guy was a supporter of Anthony Rendon and a party insider, the one who attacked her.
Yeah.
And she was attacked, and then they turned it around and jailed the guy who tried to defend Maria, accusing him with a felony charge. And he did get it out because there wasn't enough evidence. But the police were working in tandem with the corrupt Democratic Party. We're showing you multiple examples of this. This has been happening ongoing. She was talking about missing ballots. She went in there to protest at a meeting about the missing ballots. We talked about this on the show as well. And then, she had a bullhorn and they were protesting, and all of a sudden the guy attacks her. And at the end of the day, nothing's been resolved. Her ADEM was also rigged, and she was a serving ADEM, and then after she ran against Anthony Rendon, and then she ran as a delegate, that's when they were like, no, we can't have this woman here, and they completely do not respond to any sort of election fraud. They gaslight you. They make you look like you're a conspiracy theorist, like you're wrong. And this is happening all over California, especially Southern California, that are the most corrupt, I swear.
And like, you know, the last one we went to in San Francisco where you guys sent us, like literally sat in those hearing rooms, me and Johnny, and they're just amazing. To their cheating.
Brothers,
but the math wouldn't end up. What's going? And the whole thing has been is the ADEM process has become a way for the progressives to block the automatic endorsement. They just want these people to campaign and win straight up. No strings attached, no help, no insider look. That's what they want, and that's what the ADEM process has begun. So they've been able to block some what's the endorsements. Even like last time when they tried to hold Pat Harris out, Pat Harris in there, so he took enough away from De Leon where De Leon didn't get the endorsement. So it's been a way of trying to block the endorsement just to make these guys campaign straight up with no strings attached, to have a fair democratic election.
Right. And these, again, the importance is these delegates vote on endorsing candidates for the party. This is why you see of such a centrist neoliberal hold on California, because these delegates, they are kind of coerced into also supporting these candidates, and they are threatened. If you don't vote for this candidate, we're going to strip you of your delegation. You're not going to be able to grow in the party. So again, it's the whole tactic of you got to play the game or we're going to push you out. We have to stop playing the game their way. We have to take over in a different way and not lose our integrity. And I see this happening in California, but also on a national level. So let's just play the video. Because it's not very long, but it's a whole video that made just so you guys get a feel.
What are you doing here today? Tell us who you are and what you're doing.
So I'm pushing the Progressive Caucus, including Tim Johnson, Ann Moore, J.C. Ionello.
Nice. Woo! We're going to go and see some speeches. We're here, Assembly District for ADEMS. A big line, big turnout in Orange County. Glad we made the drive up. How are you doing? Can we get a picture?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you so much. Well, we're just what are you doing out here today?
I'm just helping. I'm voting for one thing.
You are?
I'm in the 74th, so I'm here to vote.
All right.
Okay?
Can I ask you a question and stuff like that? Can we film a little bit? With I have one question.
No, because I'm on full.
You are? All right. I hear you. I guess you didn't want to answer a question. You know, a congresswoman out here kind of supporting ADEMS, kind of power grabbing.
I helped with Harley's GOTV and was fortunate enough to see him sworn in from the comfort of his office in DC. Over the last 26 months, I've worked hard.
So someone said you guys are working on an honor system today. Is that what's going on? You guys are checking IDs, or you guys no ID checking today? Everyone can vote. That's it. Nothing. Nobody's getting checked.
They'll get checked. There's a random checking of votes.
A random checking. How many people get checked?
I don't know. I don't think it's done here.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
You like the orange shirts, fam?
Yeah.
That's a genius. That was the only place we saw that idea. Leave it to Orange County to say, hey, look at my orange shirt, and she's working the line, and as people are coming into the building, there's the slate all in one group with their orange shirt, pointing to the people who to vote for, and now you can bring people in, and guess what, fam?
They won. They won, by the way.
So, fams,
her slate won.
Real quick, the ADEM elections, the ADEMs, they are like assembly district delegates.
Right. So it's assembly district delegates.
The people.
Which is when they vote for what?
They vote for party endorsements.
Yep.
And the congressional races and everybody, like
everything in California.
Everything in California.
So
like yes, exactly.
They can be delegates.
Yeah. Delegates. Those are state assembly district for when you run in your assembly district, you're running for a state party delegate.
Okay. And you all just saw, all our fams, you just saw our friend Zach Prudian. He went. He's not even like a resident of California. He was visiting from Florida, and he went and he could have voted in this ADEM election.
He could have if he wanted
so
to.
after that video, Zach he was doing this investigation for us, right? So he went in and he went through the line as if he could have voted, and it wasn't that part of it. And then he was like, "Oh, so you guys aren't checking anything," And that's when he realized, holy crap, I could have voted. And these are the mechanisms that they use. And Maria Estrada talked about it many, many times, and I don't think enough people have heard her. Oh, yes, they don't check registration. They literally stop checking registration at certain times when certain people come in, and then they let anybody vote, because that's how these people are able to maintain their influence. They also get congressional people like Katie Porter and Wendy Carrillo to bust people in and bring their own slates, and they can't. You guys saw the flyers in her hand. That was her slate. So a lot of these slates are created by 7 men and 7 women who run in a district. Now the slates are a way that the establishment has used to sort of power grab and power concentrate, so a congressperson can be like, oh, well, so-and-so is a good slate. And they basically have taken it upon themselves to copy what progressives have done. Progressives don't have the money and the infrastructure to even have all of these handouts and all these things. So, of course, these people go, and with the help of congressional people, they tend to win these slates, which is why a lot of us lost our seats in this past election. But also, if you are a mayor or a city council person, there is no rule to say you can't run as a delegate, which is ridiculous to me. You're already a mayor or a city council person. Why are you running as a delegate?
Yeah,
that's a consolidation of power.
Oh yeah, and they have appointees, the pleos parts. These are just the 7 men and 7 women on the ground level who get to vote
per assembly district.
Just like last time, Kimberly Ellis won this vote, and she won the vote against Bauman. But when it came to the pleos, or the pledges, the ones that are appointed by the legislation, in other words, DeLeon got some appointees, Holly Rauter's going to get some appointees, Katie Porter's going to get some appointees. They're only going to appoint people who play ball.
Right.
So that's why Rusty Hicks won the chair this time, is because he had all the appointees, the pleos, which we call superdelegates.
Right.
And they should just eliminate this whole system.
And we were
saying it right now.
We were talking about the 3 legs of the stool, right?
3 legs of the
so
stool,
it's,
my man.
Assembly, ADEM delegates, right?
Yep.
And then the pleos?
I think the pleos are part of the second stool, and then there's the...
I think it's the
one. What's the one
county,
you're going to run for?
the
county. There's all different ones. Sorry.
Shut up.
Sorry. Well, we talked about... Sorry.
Jesus, pasta.
Sorry.
Well, anyway, so so as you can see, the system is very corrupt directly in California, and we are calling them out consistently and constantly, but we need more attention drawn to this. And this gets very wonky and very difficult for people to understand, because it's a lot of terms that you may not know if you're in other states, but I guarantee you this happens everywhere, not just in California. But it is awful in California because we're known as the progressive state when we are anything but on the party level. Our state party is so corrupt, and there are people in there who call themselves progressive who turn around and support people like Elizabeth Warren, Atkins brothers, and and talk against people like Nina Turner, who are actually just speaking truth. So this is why I wanted to bring that to light, because I am very disappointed that AOC is pushing somebody like Katie Porter, but I also think this is like California information she probably has no idea about. She just sees Katie Porter doing her thing in Congress. She probably has no idea
But
what
didn't she
is
make
happening.
a bunch of friends here? Couldn't she give us a call or something? It's like we all met her and stuff. She wants to know what's going on over here in California.
We all had breakfast with her.
I mean, seriously, we talked about this a long time ago when it came to Katie Porter. We wouldn't support her because we knew she was in the bag. She was running in a very red district of sorts in Orange County, and she has very much got a lot of conservative kind of mentality when it comes to certain things. And certainly when it comes to tipping the scales over here, the rule is you can't wear the same shirt, right? So she has an orange Katie Porter shirt, and the other ones have an orange shirt with the same color writing. So it's just, I mean, it's a really slick
and also
tactic.
the way she ran away from pasta was very telling.
Did you see that?
Just a very typical politician.
She was very scared. Like, what are you doing here?
Oh, I'm just here,
First of all, I'm going to vote. I'm allowed to vote. But you shouldn't be voting, really, to tell you the truth. This is about democracy, and you should stay out of it. But I've said it from the get-go, and I'll say it again. They should eliminate this delegate process. It's just stupid. No endorsements. Just let these people run straight up. Let them run straight up.
Let just people vote on it, like the people.
The people are the delegates.
People. Yeah.
So you want to talk about your girl?
Yeah, my best friend, Elizabeth Warren. Or is that Lauren Steiner's best friend? I don't know.
Stop, Warren.
I'm not going to stop.
Lauren Steiner.
Okay, so Elizabeth Warren is silent. is everyone surprised that while Bernie came out in defense, Elizabeth Warren said clearly that silence is gold. And so she was asked if she had anything to say, any comment about the controversy. And she was asked this in Iowa when she was there, and she said she had no comment. That's all she said, that she's got no comment. And of course, we haven't seen anything from her. We shouldn't expect to see anything from her. She clearly is loyal to Clinton to a degree. I mean, we're looking at 2016. She's the proxy that Tulsi was referring to. I mean, I think that. I'm not saying Tulsi's saying that. I'm saying that. She didn't endorse Bernie. She stayed silent, in 2016. I expect her to do the same throughout. This is why I don't understand the people that are still thinking that Elizabeth Warren is somehow going to be helpful to the progressive cause, because she has shown her colors through and through. And it's not even about Tulsi. She could say something against the neo-McCarthyism that is so dangerous to be spreading right now. And she won't. And that's I mean, I don't need any more reasons to not vote for Elizabeth Warren. But again, this is another one, because again, she doesn't have to defend Tulsi if she doesn't want to. She can defend the idea that we need to stop the red baiting, which is a lot of what her colleagues did too.
What about having Warren on a Bernie administration or a Tulsi administration?
I don't think she would be in a Tulsi administration.
Yeah, I doubt that. I doubt. Let's say a Bernie administration.
I think she might be in a Bernie administration because Bernie is more open to somebody like Elizabeth Warren than Tulsi. Tulsi's more like I am. She's like, F you.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like that picture, I've been saying it for a while. When it comes to that picture of Elizabeth Warren and Hillary Clinton, that was the end for me. And, seeing the fact that she's not allowed to say anything here. And like you said, she didn't have to mention Hillary's name.
With Clinton, you're right.
She's just, that she's always there. She's a proxy of hers and whatnot. Yeah. But I could see her still working for, breaking away, maybe working for a Tulsi campaign. Maybe, maybe in the banking industry and whatnot. I don't know.
I do not see her. I do not see Tulsi putting her anywhere in her.
I hope not.
But I do see Bernie possibly putting her in a position.
Saying a friend of her a long time and all that stuff.
And I wouldn't be opposed to her being in, in a cabinet position where she is surrounded by actual progressives. But, sometimes I worry, like, if actual progressives would be in a Bernie administration all over because there's just so much infiltration going on that I just don't, and also not enough of us and not enough demand. I mean, I'm a Bernie Sanders supporter through and through, but I have to demand that he do better. We all have to demand that where we see something swaying because it's politics and it's the establishment, we must demand that they stay to the course. People have this idea that because we like these politicians and we love them and we support them, that we can't criticize them. Actually, you should criticize them more because you want them to do well. You want them to do the will of the people. We need to change that mindset where we're like sycophants of people and we're just like praising them and we dismiss things about them that we wouldn't dismiss about other people. And like that's why there are so many things about EOC that I'm like, nope, this isn't a good take. But I support what she's doing as far as endorsing Bernie. But again, like I've seen other takes that I'm like, nope, that's not good. Blah blah blah. It's okay to have that. It's okay to have that opinion. I'm not being difficult. This is the way we're supposed to be. This is why politicians get away with so much crap because people don't hold them accountable. You keep praising them. Look what happened with Obama. People were so enamored by Obama that by the time they realized where he was going and what he was doing, it was too late. Yeah. We can't let that happen again. Nobody is above criticism.
You know who hates Hillary more than anybody? It's got to be Obama by this time because everything she's done, she has put Barack Obama back into the fire. Like the party of Clinton has really screwed over Barack Obama. WikiLeaks revelations, they revealed a lot of the stuff that Obama did with taking orders from the banks. They give him a list of who he can hire in his cabinet.
We should go back through those. We should go back through those.
There's a lot of them. It's like making sausage, Sometimes you have a public opinion and you have a private opinion.
What does making sausage have to do?
That's what Hillary Clinton said about one of them when it comes to public opinion versus private opinion and stuff. She was just her speeches to the banks were just crazy. They were whacked. But like I said, and even now, right now with Ukrainegate, more stuff's gonna come out about Obama, and it's like this party has just damaged that woman, Hillary Clinton. Now, more than anything, she's destroyed any chance that Elizabeth Warren has to becoming president because a lot of people, after seeing that stuff, after her saying she won't go on Fox, just the the unwillingness to go on and talk to people who think different than you. She's just destroyed herself, and it's a pure cancer.
And
cancer.
The left might not see this, but everybody else that's not in the echo chamber outside, because we as media have to look at everything. We don't just look at the left. I mean, we don't. Trust me, a lot of people do, but we don't. We look at everybody and everybody's opinion, and what we're seeing is Elizabeth Warren does not have a shot in hell.
And going back to what you said, holding people accountable, that's what we do. And I've made a tweet about this before. And once again, we were listening to other show briefly, and they were talking about when Tulsi talks about Kashmir. Well, yeah, guess who asked her about Kashmir when nobody would? Who would ask her the tough question? Who would vet your candidate or vet people hard? And that's our responsibility. Even as citizens, it's your responsibility to do the same thing. Right. Ask the tough questions, demand the right answers, don't let the people hide.
Right. And I would definitely, if I saw Bernie, I would ask him about election integrity. Like, how are we addressing it this time? Because that's something that's not been addressed. So, Tulsi Gabbard, your girl. Mm-hmm. There was this great article on how she's caused great change. And this is a foreign policy journal.com. That's a good source, fam. How do you think she's caused a change in the party or in the system, the whole thing?
I keep on, when people start having this conversation, well, you normally have to do this. I'm like, this ain't normally no more time. The gloves are off when Donald Trump became president. There's going to be no conventional way to say things. And she has changed the whole landscape. First of all, she's so different than all the Democrats anyways when it comes to foreign policy. I mean, they're very much more neoconish, and she is just so, she's the actual peace candidate out there. Yep. Bernie Sanders is great too. I don't want to take anything away from her. Right. But the specifics, the nuanced conversations. So with that last tweet that she did when she went back out and when she called Hillary Clinton, she changed the whole landscape. She's bringing people in that were never in before. It's a civil war now. Everybody sees it, within the Democratic Party.
Yep.
So yes, I mean, all gloves are off. Everything has changed. So I wouldn't put it past her or anybody or Bernie to do something unconventional, do something different. Because the landscape is, you can no longer say you normally have to do it this way. Same thing with the Democratic Party and stuff going over here. You can no longer say we normally do this. Now, anything's up for grabs.
All bets are off.
All bets are off, and everything's up for grabs.
To me, it's like Bernie Sanders, he ignited this movement. He pushed people like Tulsi, AOC out into the forefront, into running, etc. But Tulsi Gabbard has taken that, and, the best leaders pass on leadership to other people. They create new leaders. Bernie Sanders created new leaders, and now Tulsi, who is a natural leader, has taken it upon himself to be like the person with taking off the gloves and punching, while someone like AOC is more so kind of playing to the whole establishment narrative as trying to get centrist support and trying to, attack the Republicans. Two entirely different mindsets of Congress people, but both kind of a result of the Bernie movement. It's very interesting to see. And Tulsi Gabbard, however, is the one that's challenging the status quo of the Democratic Party. Bernie Sanders is challenging the status quo in general of the United States, but she's challenging the Democratic Party itself, and she's trying to reform it. She still believes in reforming the Democratic Party. I'm not so sure about that anymore, but she firmly believes in that. And I think that is something that nobody has had the guts to do to that level and that degree, especially regarding the Clinton machine, because it's clear that everybody's so afraid. And with this, Tulsi has basically said, I know my foreign policy. I'm a veteran. And this article talks about how, her take on Syria, how she's against regime change there, and how she had the best answer on it. And it really isolates her in terms of foreign policy because, to be honest, she's the only one getting things right on a lot of foreign policy issues. And that is going to put her in a position of in a lone position, because if the rest of the Democratic Party is, even the progressives are pretty much in line, and she's over here, they're going to use that against her to say, oh, well, she's wrong, and she's a Republican, and she might as well. And that's going to be a very, very hard battle to fight. But she is right on foreign policy. Everything she has said up until this point on foreign policy since 2015, 2016 has been right.
Yeah, and small-minded people, they follow people. Like the Clintons, the Warrens, you know what I'm saying? That's why they'll nitpick any attacks against Tulsi, whatnot, because they're following a person. So since that person is anti-person, they're just going to go and look for areas where they can get her. But open-minded and smart-minded people, they follow ideologies. And she has this end regime change war, anti-imperialist ideology. So
Right.
she's bringing a ton of people with her when it comes to this ideology. What Tulsi Gabbard has also created more than ever is an opportunity for a third party if, in fact, they do get cheated.
Right.
Now Bernie Sanders can go with Tulsi and take a ton of people with them if, in fact, they get cheated again. If, in fact, he makes it through. Because, let's be honest, fam, I know you're of the thought process just like me. If Bernie Sanders doesn't win the Democratic nomination, he got cheated.
Absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
Right? Am I right or wrong?
Look at the
So-
look at
Just look at the streets.
the crowds.
Who-
look at the people, the donations, the volunteers,
Yes.
everything.
Who else has supporters out in the street?
Yeah.
Like in every city,
And
in every
every
major
ci-
city.
The only way Bernie Sanders really loses this nomination is if he gets cheated.
Absolutely.
So that's why I'm saying if they cheat again, and I think they will, I hope to God these two go and they have great ideologies. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we're going to be talking about MMT this week, and we're going to be talking because Bernie Sanders understands how that works, so he understands how policy can be created.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? He understands that unequivocally, and he wants to change the status quo in the United States. You know what I'm saying? Tulsi wants to change that status quo with our imperialistic ways. So it's just a great combination. It's a great duo, and they're really working it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, do you want to check the chats?
Ooh, I didn't even check the chats. We haven't even said any hi to anybody. Was there any super chats yet? No. We didn't miss any.
Let's just say hi to
Okay,
some
guys.
people.
Just want to say hi to you guys. Raul Morales, how you doing? Eve Blott, what's going on?
Everybody.
Michael Cruz is here. Tony watches closely. We watch you too, Tony. Reese Mack is here. Jesus Zamora, brilliant, wonderful. Karen M. Aurelius Prime. What's up, Aurelius? What's going on? And
time no
Trudy
see.
C. All hanging out in the house on the couch with the Freethinker 59 on the Facebook. Oh, I don't even have this up. Hold on a second. You got some shout outs on the Facebook, Johnny? Because I don't even have it up. Where's my?
there
Oh,
it
I
is.
got it. Carl Hines. Carl Hines. Fifi knows best. Tony Humanic. Sarah Williams. What's going on, Sarah? Russell Alan Baldwin. Thank you
Hi,
so
Russell.
much.
Dan Nauman.
Dolores
we saw
Pierce.
you, Russell. We showed you.
Dan Nauman is in the house. He was here the other day. Dan,
Hi,
we're going to
Dan.
get together. We'll do some talking and whatnot. Who else we got? David Perez. And where's Ungi? Where's Steph? Ungi and Steph, you're late to the party. They're probably doing grand stuff. We love you, Ungi. We love you, Steph. You guys are awesome. So, fam, what is the
Fam.
next topic? You still got anything else? Or?
So, no. So I got this sent to me last night in the middle of the night. People freaking out because is Hillary Clinton actually running?
Wait. Before we go into
Yeah.
that, didn't you want to show the?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
sorry, you
Oh
have
yeah.
videos.
Sorry. Pasta distracts me. This is what he does.
Sorry.
Let's show. I want to show
It's my
Tulsi
beauty.
Gabbard's video because it is actually. I haven't seen an ad that is pretty much a direct insult to the Democratic Party establishment ever. I've seen ads like Bernie's that are focused on the people and the issues, and it's awesome, and I freaking love it. And they make me give me the feels all the time. But this one makes me want to put on my some fighting gloves and go out and take to the streets.
Yeah.
So
but
let's.
This is
watch
making
this
me
one.
worry for her well-being now, man. She's making me nervous, man. When does she
She
go on
is
deployment again?
not.
We got to keep eyes on my girl. Oh no.
Right, and she posted this 2 days ago, and we're going to show the new one that she posted after this one.
People warned me in 2016 that my endorsement of Bernie Sanders would be the end of my quote-unquote political career. They said Clinton will never forget that she and her rich and powerful friends, her allies in politics and in the media, will make sure that you are destroyed. Well, there have been countless hit pieces full of smears against me from day one of this campaign. They've tried to destroy my reputation and my lifetime of service because I stood up to them. I've spent over 16 years of my life proudly serving in the Army National Guard. I still serve as a major today. I volunteered to deploy to the Middle East twice. I've served in Congress now for nearly 7 years, serving on the Foreign Affairs Committee, the Armed Services Committee, the Homeland Security Committee, and I am not afraid to openly express my love for our country. But if they can falsely portray me as a traitor, then they can do it to anyone. And in fact, that's exactly the message that they want to get across to you. That if you stand up against Hillary and the party power brokers, if you stand up to the rich and powerful elite and the war machine, they will destroy you and discredit your message. But here is the truth. They will not intimidate us. They will not silence us. We are not here just to protest their corruption. I am running for president to take the Democratic Party and our country back from the corrupt elite. I'm running for president to bring about a new Democratic Party and new leadership that will fight for peace, fight for the people, and protect our planet. So I want to ask every single one of you to join me in speaking truth to power. Don't be afraid. Let's root out the corruption in our party and our country. Join me to end the war machine's stranglehold over our leaders and ensure that our government is truly of the people, by the people, and for the people.
Okay.
Yeah, got a super chat contribution from Coconut Girl too. Thank you so
Nice
much.
name.
Your super chat contributions are always appreciated on the couch. And Aurelia's Prime.
Why are you so corny? You
That
don't have
is
to
my.
say the whole,
It's
the
a
same thing
catchphrase
over and over again.
Fam, it's branding.
I will punch you
It's
if you
catch.
say
It's
no.
like he's got the bare
No.
knuckles thing. We got. Oh,
Do not
well,
say
then you
the
gotta
same
come
thing
up with
over
a
and
jingle
over.
that's
You
better
could just
for
say
us.
thank you like every.
No,
like
we have
a
to come up
different
with a
way.
jingle.
No, we don't need a jingle. This isn't a variety show.
Okay, she loves see the corniness. She hates it, and it's
I do.
know you love it, America, and we'll keep it coming. And Fiorella,
I think it's half and half. Some people
I
love
know,
it,
I
some
know.
people don't.
I think they just love our dynamic. Aurelia's Prime is also talking about Crowder's video. It's trending at number 4 on YouTube. I've been hearing about that video. It has a lot to do with this, fam. Do you want to say anything about this right now?
Yeah, so she's literally said Hillary Clinton's name, which, I mean, if you say Hillary Clinton's name 3 times, she appears. and people are so scared to say her name. She is talking about how the Democratic Party is determined to smear anybody that speaks out against them and that stands for actual peace. And she's calling that out and saying, this isn't just about me. This is happening. This can happen to anybody. And that's the main point I want to get out of that. It's not just about Tulsi. The reason we're focused on this is because this smear, we knew that the moment Bernie Sanders came out in her defense, they were going to go and turn it around and smear him as well. There was an article by, I forget who it was by, but this guy on Twitter, and I tweeted about it, but he came out and was like, oh, of course the Russian stooge supports the Russian asset. As soon as Bernie Sanders came out and defended Tulsi Gabbard, we knew this was going to happen, but also this was going to happen regardless. They have been pushing this Russiagate, and Bernie is this Russian asset for Bernie since he started to run in 2015. The difference is Bernie instead took the road of, I'm going to embrace this narrative, so they back off, thinking that would make them back off. It didn't. It's not going to. And Tulsi completely just denied the whole Russiagate thing and completely stood against it.
Yeah.
That to me was the right take, because has it stopped them from making Bernie out to be another Russian bot and Putin's the result of Putin's puppet? No, it hasn't. It's not going to. These people are determined. These people are focused. They're not going to change their mindset about Bernie Sanders being a commie. They're just not going to.
I thought you were going to quote Trump there. These people are sick, because they are sick, and I hate it when they stop making me prove Donald Trump right. Stop being idiots, because the fact they went after Tulsi Gabbard, that she's a Russian asset, is disgusting. Thank you again for Coconut Girl for the super chat contribution. And we also have Lori Mountain, Gal Pal, Tulsi fighting evil foes with a flaming sword of truth. And Coconut Girl also added another one, says, Kaya Calais on Twitter is running for her Congress seat and smearing her. We've seen all this stuff. All the Hillary trolls are attacking her for that video. She needs to back up. Also, I want to talk about this right now because I know he pulled up the Crowder video, but fam, remember during the debate, we were disgusted at the one point where they were talking about big tech and they were letting Elizabeth Warren talk and everybody talking, and the person who's really made a stance against big tech for the suppression of our voice, we're talking about First Amendment rights, has been Tulsi Gabbard with her lawsuit on Google. That is the biggest point you can make.
Right,
okay,
but
I'm
no,
gonna
it's
sue
Elizabeth
your
Warren.
ass.
Elizabeth Warren has a plan.
They didn't even let her speak, and we were so disgusted. It went to commercial break.
It's obvious, right?
Terrible.
Who the establishment has chosen, and I know Tulsi's sister tweeted about that. The establishment has clearly chosen Elizabeth Warren. Now, I want to go into the next thing because
wait, we're showing the new one. The new one.
Right now? You want to show it right now?
No, the Tulsi video that she just put out. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's along the same lines of
it's a
direct message to Hillary Clinton.
All right. Okay. Oh yeah, I started watching this one. This one's great.
Hillary Clinton, your foreign policy has been a disaster for our country and the world. It's resulted in the deaths and injuries of so many of my brothers and sisters in uniform. It's devastated entire countries, millions of lives lost, refugee crises, our enemy Al-Qaeda and ISIS strengthened. We've seen an increase in Iranian and Russian influence in the region. Turkey is emboldened, and we've seen an exacerbation of the problem of nuclear proliferation by overthrowing Gaddafi in Libya. Yet, despite this damage that you have done to our country and the world, you want to continue your failed policies, directly or indirectly through the Democratic nominee. It's time for you to acknowledge the damage that you've caused. And it is long past time for you to step down from your throne so that the Democratic Party can lead with a new foreign policy, which will actually be in the interest of and benefit to the American people and the world.
Wow. It's time you
step
step down from your throne.
Wow.
Look, this is the kind of thing the people want, especially the poor people, especially veterans, especially people that have been asking for politicians to. You guys all flipped out on her about the whole Ellen thing, and I guess she heard that and she was all like, "I'm gonna go hard on Hillary Clinton," and she has.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't deny that Hillary Clinton is one of the worst when it comes to our foreign policy. I mean, she is like, it's like Bush and Hillary.
She's
are like
awful. She ruined
and you know what?
Barack Obama.
Bush
ruined his legacy.
Bush may have been like the worst president, but she has been like the worst on war, like on
Since
foreign
Kissinger.
policy. Yeah, and she was Kissinger's darling.
Yeah, they were little
That's the
buddies
thing.
and friends.
It's
I'll tell
not
you this
surprising.
much. I won't be taking advice from Henry Kissinger. Remember when he said that in the debate and everybody would laugh and everybody went crazy?
I mean,
because she was like, well, who do you know from policy? I won't be talking to Henry Kissinger.
That was one of my favorite
was
Bernie
great.
moments, and I would love him to say something like that again. But there's nobody like Hillary on that stage right now.
No, nobody. Do you want to do the Crowder thing and stuff like that? Because it's the Google thing? Because I think, how long is the video that he has up there?
Okay.
All right, never mind. Okay,
Yeah,
so
we're
we can't
gonna
do
have to
that.
look into it, but
But
I'll just read the title here. So
just read the title, what he says. And we're not Steven Crowder fans, but once again, we're talking about this reaching outside of the Democratic body, getting out of the echo chamber and getting voters in and stuff, and also seeing where we do have some similarities instead of demonizing just the other side.
Look,
where do we get along? Where do we agree?
Look,
Regime change.
It's number 3. It's trending number 3. Crowder exposes YouTube. So he says, at Tulsi Gabbard already has a lawsuit against Google/YouTube for blocking her ads for a 6-hour window following a Democratic debate. And then she was the most searched candidate on Google. And then I'm sure he explains more here.
Okay.
Yeah. But
what does the last line says? It says, following a Democratic debate, she was the most searched candidate.
Yeah.
And it says election blacklist. Okay, so, I mean, once again, the truth is the truth no matter whose mouth it comes out of. We are not fans of Crowder at all. I don't like this donkey at all. I think he's over the top. His show was kind of boring. I actually watched a show of him not too long ago on Epstein when he was breaking down just the basics. He was doing it like 2 months after we had already broken down a million shows, so it was kind of like a waste of time. But I appreciated his work getting out to his audience about what was going on.
Right, yeah.
But once again, the truth is the truth, no matter whose mouth it comes out of. And when it comes down to whole suppression of voice, his voice deserves to be heard. It doesn't deserve to be suppressed, just like Alex Jones, just like all these other people they
but
blacklist.
Pasta, you're a racist for saying that.
Whatever, dude. Go ahead and say what you please. I was called trash the other day for supporting Tulsi Gabbard. Please.
Look, I am a firm believer that if you allow censorship, there's a difference between hate speech, like inciting violence, and even that to me is like an iffy line. Like, obviously, I hate, any sort of white supremacy. But the moment they went after Alex Jones is the moment then they have literally just beat upon independent media, progressive media, left media. That is the result of censorship. That is what people like Mark Zuckerberg want. Yeah. That is what these people want. They want to control what you hear because they want you to only hear their narrative. And so as much as I dislike Alex Jones as an understatement,
yeah.
I can't be against him being heard or anybody like him being heard, because then it comes back and it comes back on us. And so they suppress us, and that's what they've been doing ever since. And I am all about the First Amendment.
Yeah, and how about and the most corniest moment of that debate? The weirdest moment was Kamala Harris trying to force Elizabeth Warren to say that they should pull Donald Trump's Twitter feed. Like, here.
Thank you for making Elizabeth Warren look good.
Oh my God,
Kamala, because
I mean,
only you could do it.
Was that the end? Why hasn't she dropped that? Because that was like, oh, would you please abort the First Amendment? Would you please execute the First Amendment? Would you please just do that? Just say that.
And
she
it
said
looked
it
like
3 or 4
Elizabeth
times.
Warren was about to laugh at her.
Elizabeth Warren was like,
she was like,
no. Oh, as much as I don't like Trump. Because then she had to go say no, and she had to go into that, well, I still hate Trump kind of mode because that's their game. I mean, and in the spin room, Kamala Harris was like, I don't care if Trump doesn't know. It's dangerous. He needs to get his Twitter feed pulled. You're dangerous, lady. Just go away.
That's dangerous.
Just go
you pull
away.
Donald
Harris, you are the worst.
You pull Donald Trump's Twitter feed, someone can come back and pull Bernie's Twitter feed or anything like that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
Like they can find any excuse later on. It's a slippery slope. You don't want to do it.
Yeah, and the thing about Alex Jones, too, is a lot of people talk about it. Whether his conspiracies, what was going on, Sandy Hook, all that stuff, he always talked this like kind of nationalist, anti-interventionist. He was like kind of like Rand and Ron Paul. He didn't want to go over to these other countries and start wars a lot. And a lot of people would always kind of mention that. So I think that was part of their ideology. Oh, he's a crazy conspiracy theorist, POS, let's get rid of him. But they also wanted to suppress that message as well.
But yeah, he is. Yeah. But you know, it's his right to speak, you know, and I'm not validating him in any way, shape, or form.
But he has the right to speak. His voice must be heard because everybody's voice deserves to be heard.
Can I finally talk about what I've been wanting to talk about?
Yes.
Okay. So, people are saying Hillary Clinton might actually be running because if you go to HillaryClinton.com and look at her issues page and you look at the actual end, it says copyright 2019. They literally say, oh, this is just a copy of a reconstruction of Hillary for America. Why would you have a reconstruction of Hillary for America in 2019 if you're not running?
Yeah,
I'm just confused. Like,
and why would she put Onward together?
Yeah, I'm just
going with you.
Well, because it's a reconstruction. But yeah,
assholes.
But what do you guys think? You guys think Hillary Clinton is gonna run? Do you guys think that she's really that dumb to run again? Because she would. It's an automatic loss. It's an automatic loss.
She's
an automatic
sociopath. Of course she wants to run. She might run.
It's an automatic siphoning away from Elizabeth Warren. It would completely weaken Elizabeth Warren. Joe Biden would be out. It would just literally come to Hillary being in the lead, and then the whole replay of 2016 would happen. Because except it would be worse. She would lose worse. I guarantee you she would lose worse to Donald Trump if they would.
Yeah, well, it would be way worse.
If Hillary Clinton somehow got the nomination, it would definitely be a third party. It would definitely be
please run, Hillary. Just run. Try.
But she does have her loyalists and stuff. And I feel like the only reason she probably got really pissed when Tulsi responded the tweet. She's like, "Get my campaign manager to get on this website right now. I'm going to start running." You know, she's an egomaniac, right?
She's a narcissist, yeah.
She sees Tulsi as like, you know, like as a subordinate or something.
Yeah.
Like, you know, she like the general mindset, you know, that military mindset like that.
She's with the common folk.
So do you guys think that Hillary Clinton is going to run? Let's check out the comments. What do you guys think? Because I don't necessarily think she will. I mean, I think it would be crazy if she did at this point to run.
Desert Manta says, I think HRC is accepting Tulsi's challenge to run.
She's like, challenge accepted.
Hillary is upset with her little cronies failing her agenda, says Michael Cruz. So therefore, she's got to jump into it. I would also mark it as the end of the Democratic Party, putting Hillary in there. Goober Wallace says, I believe so, too, as well. Tom Mott says, Twitter says no. Raul Morales says, no way. And Chetan Jugadale says, she will. She will.
Interesting.
Well, she's running through her proxies right now. Elizabeth Warren is one of the biggest right there.
Kamala
Harris is another one.
But I say Elizabeth Warren because she got the most Hillary Clinton votes.
Yes.
So that's a clear indicator, you know, and Tulsi has spoke out against Elizabeth Warren and Kamala Harris both.
Yeah.
And I want to point out that this whole Hillary Clinton thing and the smears against Bernie Sanders and in addition to the Tulsi smears, all of this is coming out now more than ever after a couple things. After Bernie Sanders' ginormous rally with nearly 30,000 people, and the obvious support he's getting, the funding he has by small donors, the also the volunteers he has, the phone calls he's made, and of course, in conjunction, Tulsi Gabbard going out there and directly attacking the Clinton machine and the DNC and the Democrats and the mainstream media and the military-industrial complex and all these people.
Anybody
and then
else?
all the people that Bernie's attacking, Bezos, the big corporations, big pharma, health insurance, all of these combined. Like, all of a sudden you see, oh, Hillary Clinton might run. Oh, so-and-so is saying Hillary Clinton might run. Why? They're so desperate, you guys. They're so scared. They're scared of what they're seeing. We're winning. We really are. We just have to figure out how to actually move the chess pieces for checkmate, because right now they're trying to pull a sneaky move to see how they can best topple us the most.
I don't know. I'm kind of like Johnny. Like, I'm very suspicious. Like, something's going on. Something's brewing behind the curtains. What the hell is going on? Are we really going to... I don't think we've ever had control of our government. I would like to get control of it. And the people like Bernie and Tulsi are talking about that, the way we do business as an imperialistic way overseas, the way we do business at home with our monetary system. It's really about control, breaking that troll and gaining power. But we've been saying this from the get-go. What the hell is going on behind the scenes?
Yeah.
And I understand, that method. It's like a very, like, an abusive method. But, we can always go with the peace-talking method, which is what Tulsi is trying to do. And she can change the whole legacy of the United States from here on out if she is able to go into peace talks with other countries. Because I get it. We don't want Russia to be a superpower, because then if they become nuclear and they just feel anytime they want to take over the United States or something, they can do that or something like that. So it's about keeping. Yeah. It's trust. It's trust. It comes down to trust, I guess, is what it comes down to.
Well, I mean, so many people see what's going on, and you think that, this is a young lady, and Bernie himself, too, as well. How did they start? How did these activists start, from the streets of Brooklyn, seeing what's going on, the racial inequality, going and saying, bullshit, you're not going to hoard this education for just white people. We're not going to have segregation over here. I'm saying, locking himself up. Tulsi being an activist in the water, a surfer wanting to clean the stuff, start Water World. I'm saying? That's where they stem from. So you believe that's this beautiful, organic people. Elizabeth Warren, where'd she start from? A trust fund? Come on, rich woman, her whole life and whatnot. So
was she rich? I don't think so.
She's always had a few bucks. The woman, and she was a Republican, had a few bucks. She didn't come from a organic place like where Tulsi came from. Activist, Tulsi, activist. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you hope that these people are here to change things, but you never know. I don't know. I'm skeptical as can be, and I just would like to see a life where we're peaceful, loving.
But what are you skeptical of?
Everything. Until I don't believe anything until it happens. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
But you can't make anything happen until you make it happen.
I agree, and that's why I'm pushing forth with something. But what I'm saying is I don't put it past the elites to do whatever they need to do to keep power.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's what I'm saying. So even though you see, I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why they're pulling out as many cards as they can, because so far a lot of their cards have failed. So they're obviously scared because the people are obviously rising up and winning. And they're so scared that I believe they're going to do everything they can to stop and squash what is happening here. They're going to cause divide like they've been doing. They're going to put false prophets, so to speak, like Elizabeth Warren, out there for people to think, oh, well, she's not that bad. Maybe we can just, it'll be great. She's not going to change anything. That's the thing. She's picking somebody like Elizabeth Warren is not only going to give you Donald Trump, it's not going to change anything. And that's the bottom line. Do you want things to actually change? Do you actually want this system you want to shake it up and build a new system by the people? Or do you just want to kind of work within the system and try to fix it? So.
Yeah, I don't know. It's we're going to have to see. So, anyways, over on our Facebook, Lauren Steiner is on. Hi, Lauren. Michiko, how are you, Michiko? Carrie Mack, How's everything going? Tony Hamonic, Elizabeth Berglund, Netherland, Paul Cherry, Steve Wolbrandt. What's up, Steve? We love you. All hanging out on the Facebook and on the YouTube. We still have all those people. We almost have 400 people. Thank you guys so much. They are definitely suppressing us, hiding our voice. We have our subscribers are still going down slowly but surely. And thank you for the super chat contribution from Lori Mountain Gal Pal. And they are always appreciated on the couch. Warren is Obama minus the charm. So, did you want to talk about this at the very end? This one here?
Well, yeah. I'll talk about it now real quick. It's
Lucy
just
Flores?
a mention. It's just a mention.
Yeah.
So Lucy Flores, who was a former Bernie surrogate, has come out and pushed support for Elizabeth Warren. She wrote an entire article, The Case for President Elizabeth Warren. She also said on her Facebook, "I've looked at all the candidates and I've come to the conclusion that Elizabeth Warren is the best." Bullshit. There is a lot on Lucy Flores that is that left many of us who have known, who've been Bernie supporters in 2016 with like a sour taste in our mouth. When the whole Biden stuff came out, a lot of us didn't really say that much because we didn't want to be perceived as sexist Bernie bros. But I have more information coming on her and on why this isn't a surprising endorsement. And, she's entitled to endorse and support whoever the hell she wants. But when Bernie surrogates, change to Elizabeth Warren or to Hillary Clinton like we saw last time, it really does a disservice and it sucks. We've had people like what's her name, Simone Sanders, and it really just shows you that this movement, we need to make sure we vet our people, because a lot of people out there claim to support Bernie because it's popular, but they really do not. And when we go into this race, we need to make sure that the people we choose to represent the Bernie as surrogates aren't simultaneously propping up other candidates and propping up other by the same token. Because if that's going to happen, it's going to be up to the grassroots to stand against that and continue pushing that. Yeah. Because the last thing we need is traitors like there were in 2016. And believe me, we have them. They're there.
They are there.
And that's all I'm going to say on that.
Yeah. I'm not going to even mention their names, but they are there. I'm really, they disgust me. They are there. These people don't give a shit about Bernie Sanders. No. They will stab him in the back in a heartbeat. Look what Lucy Flores just did, and I've never met her, but everything I've heard about her in our
movement,
forget about it. A lot of LA stuff. Yeah. Don't even want to get into it. I haven't met the woman and stuff like that. But just seeing her speak about the whole Biden stuff and everything, and just, and everything, all the opinions I heard about her, just going to leave it at that. She's not a true Bernie supporter. She never was. And a lot of these people who are out there who are saying they are so for Bernie, they will stab Bernie in the back in a heartbeat to do the bidding of the Democratic Party, especially for the California Democratic Party out here. We see it. We've seen it all the time, and we will continue to see it. So it's up to us to police this ourselves, the grassroots.
Absolutely, fam.
Guess what else, fam? Ukrainegate ain't over.
This is fam.
Ukrainegate ain't over, fam.
Fam.
It ain't over. It's only just begun. Guess what happened, fam? Ukrainian government is ready to start talking, starting to cooperate with the FBI. We talked about this before. We talked about Pork Chop Poroshenko, I called him. I'm saying the name Pork Chop Poroshenko, Petro Poroshenko, so it sticks in your mind who he was. He was the oligarch's choice when they had the regime change in 2014. He came into power. He's also had ties to Igor Pasternak, who's done fundraisers for Adam Schiff. They were all in this stuff together. They were known as carpetbaggers. But just like Bobby Boucher says,
oh God,
the chickens is coming home to roost. And there's a new government there right now, and it's not a friendly government. It's not the hand-picked government by Joe Biden and Barack Obama and Adam Schiff. And you can see right over here on this article that we have up, the Ukrainian government ready to cooperate with the FBI. And it says Schiff sent a staffer to Ukraine to meet with the former President Poroshenko after receiving the whistleblower's report. So all of a sudden stuff's going on. They know that Donald Trump is starting to talk to Ukraine. They know there's a lot of stuff that went on there. It's where Russiagate started. That's where the regime change took place in 2014. They know that Eastern Ukrainians were under terrorist attacks from neo-Nazis that were supported by our government. There's the signature, 7/22/2019. Adam Schiff. He's looking for help. He's doing what's called blowback damage, fam, right? Because you know it's coming, so you gotta stop the damage. And guess what? Not only were they there that we see that they went into defense mode, but if you look inside Ukraine, it says, plain and simple,
convoy of trucks seen emptying Obama-linked former Ukrainian President Petro Porkchop Poroshenko's palace. Confidence arrest and flee. Just like we said, when I said you're going to open up a can of shitworms over here, Democrats, why are you doing this? Now, it seems to me that they already caught wind of what was going on, fam. They knew they had a new president that was friendly to the Trump administration. He wasn't their regime change pick person like Porchop Poroshenko was, and that everything's going to blow up in their face because we perpetuated this regime change. We supported it. Joe Biden put his family in positions where they can make money off stolen lands, off the gas, off the energy with Burisma, where they fracked the hell out of Ukraine while terrorizing the people of eastern Ukraine. They wanted a friendly government. It was also a proxy of a war of sorts to stab Russia in the back. And people died because of it. Okay? People were tortured by neo-Nazis. The Obama-Biden team, government, did this. And you can see these plenty of pictures here of Poroshenko and Biden. Hand in hand. These people got caught red-handed. And guess what? Like I said, more information is going to come out. And the Democrats have got themselves into some hot water. Nancy Pelosi's son benefited from being over there. Adam Schiff benefited from being over there. Joe Biden's son benefited from being over there. They were all carpetbaggers. They were all raping it. It was all the corporations. Fascism right here. And more is going to come out.
But if you look at the mainstream media headlines, all you're going to see is Donald Trump,
Donald Trump.
Which nobody's saying that Donald Trump hasn't done his fair share of corruption. However, in this case, they are not holding themselves accountable. The Democratic Party is often just as bad as the Republican Party, and especially when it comes to foreign policy. They've been so pro-war and have started so many proxy wars that they take absolutely no accountability for. And instead, why this is so important is they frame the narrative of, oh, it's Russia doing this, and you guys are working for Donald Trump because you are standing against our narrative, and you must be Russian assets too. So all of this is connected. Like the way they're pushing this whole thing only on Donald Trump. That's great, fine, push it on Donald Trump, but include yourselves in that. And why aren't you doing that? It's because you are far guiltier. On this regard, and the money trail is there.
It's there.
That's the thing. The money's there.
What were they finding in his house? What were they emptying it out? They were trying to get rid of stuff, but you know what? They got grabbed, so we're going to say more information's coming out. And Pork Chop on our thread says, hey, watch the way you say pork chop. And that is pretty funny. Mike Fagan laughed at it. And also Staff Greff says, have you seen Glenn Beck's video on Ukraine? Yes, we have. It's a great video. I've seen it. I don't know if you've seen it. It's the big chalkboard stuff where he lays it all out. You know what? He wasn't lying. I hate to say it because I referenced cross-reference a lot of his stuff with progressive people like Kevin Zeese, who I think it's popularresistance.org, has up to date. I cross-referenced it, a lot of it with Peter Lavelle from Crosstalk, who is conservative but followed this stuff immensely, like Mark Sloboda. So I was looking at everything. Even Mr. Solomon, who's wrote for The Hill, he got a little back slab. But I kept cross-referencing all this stuff, and it all made sense. The truth is the truth, no matter whose mouth it comes out of. And the truth is, the Democrats got a lot to answer for when it comes to Ukraine. So that's why they tried this whole impeachment thing, because they wanted to get the red herring over here.
And look where we are. It's not going anywhere.
Nowhere.
So, like we said, it wouldn't.
Erwin and Tillion, thank you so much for your Super Chat contribution. You had nothing to say, but thank you for helping out. And we always appreciate your Super Chat contributions. They do help us out. I didn't do the jingle.
Thank
Give
God.
Me that look.
Jesus. We're going to start a poll. Can we, who in favor of Pasta continuing his obnoxious jingle every time, or in opposition? And then we're going to do a motion to make...
No, somebody said Michael Cruz just said that he loves our corniness, so we're gonna keep
your corniness.
Yes,
not mine.
Well, your corniness. You're the corniness police. All you do is police my corniness all the time. Jim Beard, thank you so much, is over on the Facebook. We do have Tony Humanic still on, Steve Wolbrandt, and a few others. 22 people watching on the Facebook, but we almost had 400 people close to it on our YouTube, and we have several Super Chat contributions today. So thank you so much. And our Patreons have been jumping up as well. And we want to keep that going because every single cent you give us, we put it to work.
Awesome.
And the more money we get from you, the more work we can do. And we plan on doing a lot of great things because we do, right?
Yes.
I mean, we're politic-holics, if that makes sense, and socialholics or whatever. Fiorella doesn't sleep, and neither does Sophia, one of our girls from the sister channel and the MCSE network over there. So, fam, you got anything else to say about Ukrainegate before we get out of there?
No, fam. It's been a long
Johnny
time.
Sue, you got anything to close it out? You want to show the picture of Kaya Kali?
Well, we haven't looked into this guy.
Well, we haven't, but he is the primary challenger.
He did retweet Tulsi's latest clip. So
what did he say?
Enough with the Trumpian vitriol.
Oh, God.
Hillary Clinton served as a Secretary of State under Barack Obama. Are you calling him a disaster and saying he is responsible for millions of lives lost too?
Yes!
By the way, exactly how is this helping Hawaii?
Okay,
Wow.
see, that's what I'm saying. That's all you need to know.
That's all you need
That's
to know.
all you need to know. He's praising the warmongers, whatnot, trying to turn... Please, stop, because Obama's got a lot of stuff to answer for when it comes to Ukrainegate, too, as well.
Yeah. Tulsi is, obviously eons better than whoever that establishment mouthpiece is.
Thank you.
That's disgusting.
Thank you for saying
that. Is
thank
disgusting.
You for showing, Hillary Clinton says when somebody tells you who they are,
if you're gonna be
should believe them.
if you're gonna be a mouthpiece for the Obama and Clinton administration, I'm so sorry. You are dead in my book. I will never ever come close to you.
Well,
and
I thought she was running against a Democrat. I didn't know she was running against a Republican. So make sure you get over to our Rockfin, ROKFIN. It's a cryptocurrency-based platform, which really helps creators out, unlike YouTube, who suppresses our voices. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell over here. And we want to thank you for growing our live chats every day, Monday through Friday. We've been doing it. I think this is the third, fourth week in a row we've been able to go out and really accomplish that, plus the extra shows. Tomorrow we're going to have on Sham Sharma, and he's going to talk about the beginning of the RSS and anything else that Fam and I can come up to ask him on what's going on in India.
And think about some questions you guys might want to ask him too, because we'll pose the questions for him as well. Free range.
Yeah, I got some questions for our guest on Friday night at 7 p.m. Pacific time. That's for 10 p.m. for you guys on the East Coast. Friday night, hang out with us. Steve Grumbine from The Real Progressives will be joining us to talk about MMT for Dummies. We're going to start at the bottom level line. We've gotten some questions too on our Gmail, and we will be able to ask them a few of them.
What does MMT stand for, fam?
Modern monetary theory.
Modern monetary theory. Well, the whole thing is the word monetary is the word. Modern meaning today, monetary is the most important word you have to understand, because monetary really is all about control. You know, what we use for goods and services, currency, those sort of things. And you have to see how the whole system is set up, because what is money? It's paper. It's really not worth anything, right? It's not backed in anything.
It's a value you put onto it.
Exactly. We're being told what it's worth. How is it created? How is it destroyed? We're going to go over all those things with Steve Grumbine from The Real Progressives this Friday. And next month, coming up shortly, we're going to have the Democratic Convention in Long Beach.
Yeah, where the delegates vote on endorsements, and we're going to show you just how corrupt everything is, because I have a feeling we're all going to be very disappointed.
Yes, and I went to the Democrats page the other day, looked at the endorsement kind of things, and there's early endorsements from the state delegates and whatnot. If there's a candidate that you like, anywhere in California that you want us to look into to find, and we can find them and ask them a couple questions, let us know. Obviously, some of the matchups we can talk about right now. Shahid Buttar is obviously going against Nancy Pelosi. I believe, what's her name, is Basilar? Her last name?
Yeah.
She's still in that race.
Basilar.
So we have that going on. And I'm going to look into any other races right now. Right about now is when you hear the races start heating up. So now we got to pay attention to, because
is anyone running against Dianne
Feinstein?
Yeah.
She doesn't run this time. She's a senator.
You're right.
I don't think is the Senate chair up for grab. I don't think it's. I think it's up in 2 years. I think
she's getting up there though. She needs to. Yeah.
This is her last. This is definitely her last term. I think. I don't think she's going to run again.
I think Ro Khanna is a shoo-in.
Right now is a long time from now and then. We got to see, because if the progressives can make some noise, we can really change.
I think it would be great to punch from the left and actually have someone run against him to make sure he's keeping up, with what I'm saying.
Adam Schiff needs a primary.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were running against him.
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about running against him, not necessarily to win, but just to expose him. You know what I'm saying? If you guys want to come up with a campaign slogan with me, email me, and you want me to run against Adam Schiff, you got to show me support to get in the race, so how we can do this. But this is the endorsing convention coming up, so there's going to be a lot at stake. I remember going to this one last year in San Diego, and it was pretty interesting. Kamala Harris spoke at that one when I walked on in, and she was begging the progressives to unite. And I was like, this lady's going to go nowhere. She's got no goof, she's not nuanced at all. She's got so much baggage going as her time as a defense attorney, and just a lot of stuff to deal with. We have a super chat from Gibbs. Trying to moderate and look for the truth is pretty hard to do nowadays, and it really sucks.
Yep.
Well, keep supporting us, and we'll tell the truth as much as we can.
Yep. Thank you.
Trudeau won yesterday in Canada, but he is diminished. His party is kind of weak. He's got a lot of things to deal with. He's not going to be able to just push forth legislation.
I was really rooting for the Singh guy.
So was I. And there was an article that was released that when he had a relationship with a young lady, she was a lot younger than 18. They're still trying to...
Singh?
No, we're talking about Mr. Trudeau.
Oh, Mr. Blackface 4 times Trudeau?
Mr. 4 times Trudeau.
Yeah. Mr. Blackface, like when he was a full adult, not like when it was like 20, 30 years ago. No, it was like recent times Trudeau.
Yeah.
Mr. Neoliberal Trudeau.
Austerity.
Mr. I'm going to stand for Native people and for the environment and support big oil in
Mr.
Canada.
Big Oil Trudeau, really, to tell you the truth. They may try to make him look like some... just like Jerry Brown, and that's what mainstream media does. They make you think that these people are heroes or champions of global warming. Jerry Brown signed more permits for fracking than any other governor.
He's making Gavin Newsom look good.
Yeah,
like Gavin Newsom has done some good things, like signing for public banking.
Yeah,
like there's a couple other things. The school lunches that he just signed as of recent, free school lunches, all of that. Like. He's not as bad as a lot of people thought he was going to be yet. That doesn't mean he's not an establishment corporate guy, but I will praise him on what he's done well.
Yeah,
so.
And Choctaw Warrior, thank you for behaving today, but I think the Fed the Congress tells the Fed what to print as far as money, right? They direct the Fed when it comes to new Congress. We're going to learn this in MMT.
We're going to learn it, yeah.
We're going to learn this in MMT. So, I mean, I got your questions over there. But thank you so much for joining us. We got to get on out of here. Hi, Chian. You're here late, but you can watch us again. For Pasta Jardula.
I'm Fiorella Isabel.
Jonny Sue on the 1s and 2s.
So corny.
Peace.
Convo out.